Hello everyone and welcome back to Giant Fire Breathing Robot on YouTube. My name is Craig Withers and we are continuing today with our coverage of Hearthstone. Once again we have another starter deck guide for you. This episode we are looking at Hunters. So yeah, how's the deck going? I'll get straight into this without too much PM. So we can spell starter. Oh, there we go. That's a good sign. Okie dokie. So, as with all of the other decks, this starter deck is purely made up of basic cards. What that means is there are no cards in here that you have to spend any money on. No cards that you have to craft. You don't have to spend any arcane dust. So you don't have to spend any money. You don't have to spend any time crafting or grinding for these cards. By the time you hit level 10 with the Hunter, you will have access to every single one of the cards in this deck. The deck is it's not the best deck in the world. It's not the be all and end all. It's not super competitive. It will not, allow you to win tournaments or competitions. It won't, help you get to the top of the ladder without any problems whatsoever. What it will do is let you win a few games. It'll let you get a feel for the mechanics of the class. It'll let you get a feel for how the game works, and it'll let you start getting some wins under your belt. You can start earning some gold through completing daily quests. You can use that gold, as we always recommend you to do. Use your gold to buy your way into the arena. Don't just use your gold to buy cards. You're always going to get at least one deck of cards out of the arena. So spend the extra money in there. Plus you get experience, actual experience, and maybe some extra bonuses on top of that. These decks will help you do that. So I'm just gonna rattle through. I'm gonna put this deck together. I'm not gonna go into an awful lot of detail on every single card, but I'll come back and pull a few of them out later on, just to talk about them. So we have Elven Archer, Acidic Haze, Starving Wizards. We have, of course, the River Croft, Novice Engineer, Animal Companion, Kill Command, Iron Swords Rifleman, where are you? Oh, back to roll. Shattered Sun Cleric, multi-shots, Hound Master, Snap, go just the one. Back here, 2 Tundra Rhino, and last but not least, we have our Stormwind Champion. Okay, so there we go. So 30 cards, this is just a basic deck. Nothing too fancy here. In general, the Hunter you will find in the kind of full game itself, you find Hunters are a mix of minions and traps. Now there aren't any traps actually in this deck. I don't think I've actually got any traps in here at all in my Hunter deck anyway, so I won't bother speaking about traps just now. But generally, Hunters get their strength from their minions. Hunters are almost certainly going to be running a minion heavy deck. I have seen a few around that don't, and just kind of plump for a bit more direct damage, but by and large, if you're up against a Hunter, you're going to be up against an awful lot of minions. The same is true of this deck. I think out of all of our starter decks, this is going with the most minions in them. Generally, what you want to do with this deck, and I think with most Hunter decks, is you want to stall your opponent for as many turns as possible until you've got enough minions on the field that you can just steamroll over them. You're just going to swamp them away. Generally, you will also have those minions buffed up all at the same time. So, for example, we have the Houndmaster in here. Where's that? There we go. So it's going to that's giving one beast +2/+2 in taunt. Your Tundra Rhino there is giving your beast charge. You see there we've got a Stormwind Champion, and we have 2 Shattered Sun Clerics. Arguably, you could drop something out for another Stormwind Champion to give yourself that wee bit extra buff, but again, Stormwind Champion is a 7 mana minion, so that's going to cost you to come in there. Yeah, you could argue to take out a Swamp Ooze, and that would certainly give you space, but I'm never too keen in taking my Swamp Oozes out, certainly in starter decks. But yeah, there's also some really interesting synergies in here. Starving Buzzard in there. Whenever you summon a beast, draw a card. You bring that out alongside. Where are we? Oh no, I'm thinking of something else. No, that's. I'll come back to that. That's a later one. That's something else I was going to mention. But yeah, but no, there are some really good synergies. I mean, the kill command, that's one of the most basic synergies in here. You're getting 5 damage for 3 mana if you've got a beast out, and almost every single one of these cards, every single one of your minions. Okay, well, Elven Archer, Swampoos, and Engineer they are, but pretty much everything else is a beast. Granted, your champion, your rifleman, and your cleric aren't, but you see, you've got a lot of beasts. You're always going to be running beast heavy in a hunter deck. When you are experimenting with the deck, think about things that you can synergize in. What was I was going to say? Look at my notes here. Yeah, Starving Buzzard. As I say, great card. Always try to play that second on a turn. Don't bring that out on its own. Leave it on the deck, or leave it on the table, sorry, thinking that you'll be able to get it out next turn, because that's going to be a priority target for almost any opponent. What you want to be doing is playing that second. Bring something out, even if it's a cheap thing, an Elven Archer. That's one of the reasons they're in there, because they're nice and cheap. You can bring a Starving Buzzard and an Elven Archer out on the same turn and do it. You're going to get your card and 2 creatures out there, plus a bit of damage. It also, I guess it kind of synergizes well with Kill Command, although that's a bit expensive. But yeah, just it's a bit of a tricky deck. It's not the most simple deck. It's not the mage or even the priest deck. Well, certainly the mage deck, you're just blasting things in the face. It does take a bit more thought to use. The hunter takes a bit more thought to use in general. It's a bit trickier. The hero power as well. Although 2 damage every turn for 2 mana looks great. It's not as great as it first appears, because you can only do that damage to the hero, which actually limits it. And granted, if you could somehow hold off the hero for 15 turns without doing anything, then you're going to win the game, but let's face it, that's not likely to happen ever. So yeah, it's a fairly basic deck. There's nothing much to say about it. One thing I would advise, as I said earlier on, generally with a hunter, you want to kind of stall your opponent until you can steamroll over them with a whole load of animals, or with a whole load of beasts. Sorry. Always bear in mind, certainly if you're playing a mage, that Flame Strike on turn 7 can kill just about every single creature that you've got. You look at how granted, there's a couple of creatures in there which are kind of strong, but most of your beasts are going to be quite low. They're going to be toughness 3, toughness 4 at the most, and a Flame Strike can wipe you out and can lose you the game just by getting rid of every single creature you own with 1 card. So be aware of that. And yeah, I guess that's just about it. Let me see, a couple of things that you maybe want to try and find. Oh, hang on, that's basic. It's expert. Separate after. Things that you might want to add into this. Unleash the Hounds. I've already got this, so that's a great card. That synergizes really well with the Starving Buzzard, especially if you're set up to kind of start steamrolling them. Starving Buzzards obviously gives you a card when you summon creatures. We also want scavenging hyena. There we go. So yeah, when a friendly beast dies, the hyena gets buffed. So the idea being is bring out your Starving Buzzard, play Unleash the Hounds, get extra cards for the hounds from that, use your hounds to attack, and presumably die because they only 1/1, which buffs up your hyena. If you've got a Thunder Rhino on the deck already, on the table already, then your scavenging hyena may have charge. So if you've done really well, you're maybe going to have a 6/6, maybe more creature ready to go. Maybe not 6/6, but certainly 6 attack. So you see, these are that's just a kind of a quick suggestion of one of the synergies, one of the things that you might want to think about adding into the deck as time goes on. But as I say with all of the other decks, experiment with it, use it. Just take it out as it is, play a few games, chop and change, drop things in, drop things out. As I said, Stormwind Champion, if you wanted, you could squeeze another one in there. I'm not sure 2 Tundra Rhinos is really necessary. I'm not actually sure the Oasis Snapjaw is necessary, but it's in there because it's a nice tough creature. The Snapjaws are always difficult to deal with. Again, if you can buff that up with the Houndmaster, you got a 4/9 creature with taunt, which is going to be a pain in the neck for almost anyone to deal with. But yeah, if you think something isn't working, take it out, add something else in, experiment, as I say. Above all, let us know how it goes. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, first and foremost, and leave some comments afterwards. Tell us how you felt the decks were. If you didn't like them, tell us why. What didn't work? Why do you not like it? If it did work, if you found success, let us know. We'd be over the moon to hear that you've been finding success with the advice we're giving you. And until the next time, thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you then.